you can build yourself an awesome home studio that will let you record amazing music for less than $1,000. Sure, you could spend more than that if you'd want to, but $1,000 will get you the gear you need to produce some incredible music. Now, of course, if you don't know how to use that gear, then the most expensive gear in the world still won't make you great music. So I've got a guide that will walk you step by step through how to use gear and how to record your own music. You can check it out in the description. But for now, let's launch into how I would build my own home studio for less than $1,000. Now, most videos of this nature assume that you already have a computer, but not all of you guys do. And you could use your phone, and that works, but if you've got a $1,000 budget, I think it's time to move beyond using your phone. So let's get a computer, and I'm assuming you don't have one. If you have a computer, that's awesome. You're just gonna save yourself a bunch of money. I recommend that you pick up a refurbished business laptop. Yes, you heard me correctly. I'm recommending a used computer, and I don't have time to get into all the reasons why for now, but computers are amazing these days, and any computer that's less than 5 years old will easily be able to handle this home studio setup. Now, I recommend a refurbished business laptop because business laptops tend to be built better than consumer grade laptops do. And so my go-to recommendation for the last few years has been the Lenovo T490. A bunch of people that I know have got it, and it's just a great computer. It's well built, and it packs enough punch to be able to do what you need it to do in order to record your own music. And you can pick these things up for $350 or less if you buy them refurbished on a place like Best Buy or something. I should mention that I am a Canadian, and so I'm doing all my calculations in Canadian dollars. So if you're an American, it's going to be even cheaper yet. You can do the math. So we have a $350 laptop, and on that laptop, we're going to need to run some software. The software is called a Digital Audio Workstation, DAW, or DAW. Let's go with DAW. Unless you have experience with DAWs already, I suggest you start with the free one. My go-to recommendation for people getting started is BandLab Studio. It's actually a web-based DAW that works surprisingly well considering it's web-based. So start with that one, go to bandlab.com/studio, and you have to make a BandLab account. It's a bit of a pain, but once you get in, it's awesome. It lets you do all kinds of cool stuff. So I'd start with that one. If you have another DAW you want to use, go for it. I don't care, but you should be able to start with something free. So we're going $0 for the DAW. We have a $350 laptop and a free DAW. We're at $350. We have $650 yet to go. The next thing we're going to spend some money on is an audio interface. Now, you could go and buy a USB microphone, and I'm not going to stop you, but if you have a budget of $1,000, I'm going to suggest that you go beyond a USB microphone and get an audio interface. The reason is twofold. First of all, audio interfaces allow you to plug studio monitors in, which we're actually not going to do in the studio setup because it would blow our budget, but it gives you the opportunity to add studio monitors sometime in the future. The second reason is if you have a USB microphone and want to record an electric guitar, then you're out of luck. So you kind of need an audio interface if you want to record any sort of electric instruments. I'm a big Focusrite fan, so check out the Focusrite Scarlett series. They have some awesome interfaces. I suggest you get the Focusrite Scarlett Solo, and there's a 4th generation that just came out, but honestly, the last couple generations of these things are so awesome that whether you get the 4th or the 3rd generation, it's not going to make a huge difference. You will probably not be able to notice a difference in audio quality. So I'm going to go out there and recommend that you pick up the 3rd generation Focusrite Scarlett Solo. If you can get a used one, that's even better. And you can probably pick one up for $150. Of course, we'll need a microphone to plug into this thing. So I suggest the Audio-Technica AT2020. You can pick one up for about $150, and that's a good microphone to match with the rest of the setup. Having a super expensive microphone, but then lower end gear everywhere else doesn't really get you anywhere. So I would suggest the Audio-Technica AT2020 is a good microphone for this setup. You will, of course, need a pair of headphones, especially for tracking and maybe even for mixing. And there's this whole debate about studio monitors versus headphones for mixing. And honestly, if you have a home studio and your room isn't acoustically treated well, then you're probably just as well off mixing on headphones as with studio monitors. Of course, in the pro studios where they have perfectly treated rooms, they mix on studio monitors, and they're going to suggest that you do. And if you want the extra level of nuance, then I mean, sure, I have studio monitors and I use some of both, but most home studios aren't acoustically treated perfectly. They're not well-designed rooms, and in a poorly designed room, studio monitors can trick your ears too, and you can hear things, frequency buildups and such like that actually aren't there. So honestly, headphones is a great way to go. You need them for tracking anyways, and they work pretty well for mixing. I'm going to suggest the Audio-Technica M50Xs. You can pick them up for 220 bucks, or if you want to save on the budget a little, the Audio-Technica AT20Xs are quite a bunch cheaper. If I've done my math correctly, we're currently at $870. We have a Lenovo T490 for 350 bucks. We have Focusrite Scarlett for 150 bucks. We have an Audio-Technica AT2020 for 150 bucks, and now we have some Audio-Technica M50Xs for 220 bucks. $870. That means we have $130 left to go before we blow our budget. We're going to need $30-some for a mic stand and $25 for a mic cable. Which mic stand and mic cable you get doesn't really matter at this point. There's higher end mic stands which have some extra features and maybe last longer. There's higher end mic cables which maybe sound a little bit better, but in a $1,000 setup, will you be able to hear the difference between a $25 mic cable and a $50 mic cable? Maybe you can, and I'm not going to argue with you if you can, but probably not. And I really suggest you spend 10 or 15 bucks on a pop filter yet. You're really going to want one of these. It's going to help you get rid of those P's and T's and other plosive sounds. So now we have a home studio setup, and we're at less than $1,000. So unlike almost everybody else in the world, we're actually under budget, not over budget. So what are we going to do with our extra $100? I suggest one of two things. You could either go down the line of studio monitors, and maybe you could skimp a bit on the headphones and get some studio monitors. So that's an option. Or what I think is an even better idea is to put any remaining funds into acoustic treatment. And really, if you want my honest feeling, we should be putting not just the remaining funds in acoustic treatment, we should be starting with acoustic treatment. And so if you have a laptop already and can save some money there, put that money into acoustic treatment. Acoustic treatment is going to be the biggest factor by far in how you're recording sounds. So this isn't a video about acoustic treatment. You can watch some others I have on that, but anything soft and thick and dense is going to help. Mattresses, pillows, cushions, things like that. And you can build your own acoustic panels. I did it. You can go to Home Hardware, pick up some lumber, pick up some insulation, and pick up some fabric, and you can craft your own if you have any sort of carpentry skills. It's not that hard to do. So I suggest you put all the remaining budget into acoustic treatment, and that gives you a setup which is going to record some pretty awesome songs. Now, will there be things that you can't do with the setup? Sure. I mean, if you want to record a whole drum kit and want to mic each drum individually, you need like 8 microphones or whatever to do that well. You won't be able to do that. You only have one microphone, so you won't be able to do any stereo miking techniques or anything like that. But with this setup, you will be able to record some amazing sounding songs. And I've said this before, but I've got this free PDF guide. It walks you step by step through how to record your first song, and it also includes step by step how to record your first music video. And I mean, music videos are awesome. You should be making those too. So you can check that out below.